Hello friends, today we're going to be doing something so incredibly exciting. I've decided that I'm going to go through Any Way the Wind Blows, the third Simon Snow book, and I'm going to reread my favorite parts. So this was a completely unplanned decision. I was not planning on filming this video. I just was thinking to myself, oh, it would be really nice to reread those parts again that I really like I'm just sort of in the mood. And I thought I could totally make a video out of this and talk about all my favorite parts with people who also like the book. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to be going through and having clips of me talking about my favorite parts and clips of me reading through the book. We're going to see how far I get across it. Another important thing is this is not going to be a complete reread. For me, this is going to be basically just skimming over my favorite parts and skipping the things that are still interesting and good, but that I've already read recently, because I think that this is probably my third or fourth time reading this book since I picked it up this summer. So I've already gone through it a good couple of times. So this time we're only going to be reading the things that are my favorites. So yeah, I'm probably going to be picking lots of the high tension, high climax scenes, and I'm just going to be bringing you along with me, and we're going to see what happens. So all right, this is going to be full of spoilers for this book, but I would highly recommend the beginning of the trilogy, this first Simon Snow book. So completely full of spoilers. This is a video only for people who are not planning on reading this book or who have read this book and really want to gush over their favorite parts with me. So yeah, I'll see you later. Hi, so I realized I should probably talk about this book in order to give a little bit of a context to what even this story is about or what's going on. So essentially, this is a trilogy of books that follows the main character, Simon Snow, and his roommate, Baz Pitch. And it's basically like a knockoff of the Chosen One trope, or a play on the Chosen One trope. So Simon Snow goes to a Harry Potter type school, and it follows him throughout his many years, and then the book picks up at his last year at this school called Watford. Essentially, Simon shows up for the school year and finds that his roommate Baz is gone missing. Nobody will tell him where he is, and he thinks that Baz is plotting against him. And meanwhile, Simon is sort of facing this antagonist called the insidious humdrum that keeps stealing magic from places throughout their world. And so it sort of like enters with Simon wondering where Baz is, and then once Baz is introduced as a character, they figure out that he was kidnapped because somebody was trying to hold him hostage, because they have an event each year where sort of ghosts or, I think ghosts or spirits is probably the best term, visit people in order to tell them important information that's holding them back from crossing over. And so Baz was being held hostage so that his mother wasn't able to tell him what she needed to tell him, but she was actually able to deliver the message to Simon instead, because Simon was rooming with him. That's where she went looking for him, and she found Simon instead. So she passes along the message to Simon that basically her murder is not what we think it was, and that they need to investigate into it and figure out what's going on. So then the story takes a turn of trying to figure out basically the meaning behind Baz's mother's murder. And Baz and Simon, although they are mortal enemies, have now teamed up in order to figure this out. And it turns into a wonderful romance. And then at the end of the book, they figure out what's happened with the mother, and they also figure out that the headmaster of the school is actually like a really bad dude, and Simon essentially has to kill him in order to save their magical world from this insidious humdrum. So that's where the first book picks off. The second book starts in America. So basically they have a friend who was Simon's former girlfriend who travels to America, and again, they haven't heard from her. They think that she's missing, and they want to sort of take this trip as sort of like an American road trip, but then also figure out what's going on with this missing friend. Her name is Agatha. And so the second book revolves around them taking this trip, sort of figuring out vampire details about America, because Baz is a vampire. That's also revealed at the end of the first book, towards the end of the first book. And so they figure out that Baz is a vampire, and so they're learning about vampire culture in America. They end up going to this club in order to find more information about what's going on with this vampire gang that's basically holding Agatha hostage. In the end, they end up saving Agatha and returning back home. And this is the third book. So the third book picks off with basically Simon is incredibly depressed. He has been incredibly depressed since he had to kill the mage, the person who was the headmistress or the headmaster of the school. And he's lived this whole life as a chosen one orphan, not really knowing what's going on with his life. Everything is sort of predetermined for him. And now that he loses his powers after defeating the humdrum, he sort of doesn't know what to do with himself anymore. He feels really out of place in this world because he used to be the most powerful magician and now he has no magic at all. And so this is sort of a really deep dive on his and Baz's relationship as it evolves, and then also sort of figuring out their places in the world. I'd say that out of all of the books, this one has the least to do with like a big plot arc. There are things that are going on that are really important, especially within the relationship, but it's not like outside forces that are, you know, forcing the characters to do things and to go on quests or anything like that. I won't necessarily explain the plot of this book now because I think that we're going to figure it out as I'm going like through my favorite parts, but that's essentially it, and that's all I want to say so far. So now we're going to pick off with me reading, and I'll check in with you the next time that I have an important update. Bye. Okay. We're already at update time, and I'm only this way through the book. So the reason why I said that there wasn't a big plot arc to the book is because I forgot about the big plot arc. The big plot arc is that there is a man who's essentially promising people who don't have magic. And because of that, there is a man who has gone missing, and we don't know where he is. We haven't heard from him. And so Lady Ruth is her name. It's her son. And also her daughter Lucy, who is dating the mage, has also gone missing a long time ago. So now both of her children are missing. And Penelope has smuggled Shepherd, which is the name of a normal who doesn't have any magic, who is from America. So on their trip in America, they met Shepherd, and Shepherd came back with them, and now Penelope is basically trying to deal with having Shepherd around, even though people are like, no, we can't tell normal people about magic. So now I think we're going to pick up into the sort of first big chunk of, I don't really know what the right word for, conflict is probably the best word in Baz and Simon's relationship. We also found out that the mage left Simon everything, as he was the mage's heir, and even though Simon has killed the mage, he has inherited all of his money and his estate. So those are the updates for so far. I'm gonna keep reading. Bye. Okay, so since the last time we've talked, I have a couple of different updates. So first of all, Simon has basically decided that now that he has the mage's money, he's going to move out. He's going to basically get his own place. He's going to leave Penny and Baz, not really telling them what's going on. And now Baz tracks him down, has shown up at his door, and they have started fighting, and we're going to see what happens next. I know what happens next, but we're going to see what happens next. gotten to chapter 16, and I think that chapter 16 is probably one of my favorite chapters because I think that it has the most open communication. Like, you can deeply tell that Simon is really struggling to explain to Baz what's going on in his mind and how he's feeling. And you can tell that tensions are high. And then at the end, they sort of make up, and it's not perfect right away. It's really tentative, and they don't really know what they're doing. And I can really appreciate that. I am about to read chapter 17, but basically the entirety of chapter 16 was just them understanding where each other was at and deciding that they don't want to break up. They do want to continue the relationship, with Simon trying to put in an effort, because essentially they've discovered that the entire time he just didn't think that he would be able to keep something so good, and he was just waiting for it to fall apart instead of doing anything about it so that he didn't get hurt in the end. And so now I'm going to pick up at chapter 17 and see where it goes from here. Bye. Okay, we're going to talk about one of my favorite graphics in the book, which is this one, with Simon sitting on the bed and Baz handing him the plate of ham sandwiches. And I want to talk about why this is my favorite graphic. Essentially, there's this scene coming up where Simon is sitting down and Baz hands him this plate of sandwiches, and Simon takes a bite and says, "There's butter on these." And Baz is like, "Yeah, there's butter on them. You like them with butter." And he was like, "You remembered that I like them with butter." And Baz is thinking to himself, like, I wouldn't turn the world the other way around, as if that would make you happier. And I think this really shows how Simon is not inclined to think about other people sort of thinking about him. Like, he's not inclined to think that someone would butter a ham sandwich just because he likes it that way more. And it shows how Baz is so affectionate towards Simon and will remember those little things. And so I think this is just a really good moment in the book that I'm about to read. But yeah, that's all I've got to say. Okay. We are this far of the way through. We've officially made up. This was one of my favorite sections of the book, this very beginning, like 200 pages. And I'm not really sure where I want to skip ahead to next. But I don't know, I just really like the communication in this book. I think it's really genuine. I think that the way the main characters display their feelings, the way that it's written, is also really genuine. I just like how natural the dialogue feels and how it sort of really encapsulates their emotions while also being funny to read and just genuinely entertaining. And it goes by so quickly. I'm already on 125 pages. I know I've been skimming, but still. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now. I might get through maybe half of the book today and then maybe take a break with it. Not entirely sure, but let's cut to the next clip of me saying whatever I find interesting next. All right, friends, it's update time. So I'm officially this far of the way through. So what's happened so far since the last time we talked is Simon and Baz meet up with Lady Ruth. They get to hear her whole story, and they end up going to one of the Chosen One sort of rallies, I guess you could call them. They're also in a much better place, just like in their relationship, and sort of testing the waters of everything being calm and new and like starting over. And one of the big turning points is Baz and Simon go to get rats together. And it sounds so silly, but it's true. And I don't know, they just basically talk about the two of them like sharing their insecurities. Like, here are the things that Simon's insecure about, and here are the things that Baz is insecure about. And both of them are telling each other that they don't have to be insecure about them, but both of them are also insecure about their own things. And so that's the thing that we've been working on so far at this part of the relationship. And yeah, I think it's been really good. Again, one of my favorite parts about the book is just the communication. Like, Baz is talking about Simon's relationship with Agatha, which was his girlfriend when he was back at Watford. And he starts asking questions, and then he's like, "I'm sorry, like, this is super personal and this is really weird." But then Simon is like, "No, I'm sorry, like, I'm giving you really bad answers, and like, I want to talk about this." And they have a conversation about Simon's sexuality. And again, it's sort of the same thing where Baz is like, I don't want to have to pressure you into having an answer. I'm sorry that it came off that way. And Simon is sort of like, yeah, I don't really have an answer for you, and that's just the way that it is right now. And I really appreciate the whole side plot that's going on right now with Penelope, everything that's going on with her and Shepard. So basically, Shepard has been cursed by a demon. We love that for Shepard. Shepard has been cursed by a demon, and Shepard wants to get out of this curse because he's basically supposed to, when he dies, he's married to this demon lady, and he's just stuck there in this relationship with her in hell forever. And so Penelope is trying to get him out of that, and they're having a lot of conversations, sort of setting up the basis for their future relationship, which is also super exciting. Baz finds his stepmom, who has also gone missing at one of the Chosen One rallies, and she's like super invested in this whole Chosen One thing, and Baz is not really having it. Simon is super not having it. And so yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at right now, and we're gonna see if I have maybe probably one more update before I call it quits for tonight. But yeah, see you later. Hello friends, another update. I think I've decided to just finish it. I've gotten so far, I might as well. But this is where I'm at so far. The biggest things that have happened in this section of the book is that Simon and Baz have moved in together. They've moved into Simon's apartment, and so that was like a really big deal. We also have another meeting with Lady Ruth. Basically, throughout the entire book, they have a lot of different meetings with Lady Ruth. Basically, meeting with her, giving her updates about what's going on at the rallies. Last time they went to a rally. Now they're sort of talking about meeting Jamie, who is Lady Ruth's son. We also finally have an official relationship between Penelope and Shepard, which is really good, solving the sort of demon situation. Basically, Penelope sits down and talks the demon out of having a contractual obligation with Shepard. She's like, he told you the incorrect last name, and so technically your thing is invalid. And then the demon is like, Jesus, Shepard, you are a lot of work. I no longer want to be with you, and also I am so mad at you. So that's also happened. Baz and Simon are, just doing their Baz and Simon thing now that they're living in Simon's apartment, sort of just getting used to the way that things are. And yeah, I'm gonna finish up this last bit of the book and then check in with you and let you know some thoughts and feelings and things that I liked overall. But yeah, bye. Hello friends, I have showered. It is nearing midnight and I have officially finished this book. So many things have happened. I don't even know where to start. I took a couple of notes so that I wouldn't forget. Basically, Smith, Richard Smith, I think is his name, is the guy who is pretending to be the Chosen One. He casts a magic spell on Simon, trying to give him his magic back, and it doesn't work. And then later they find out that it actually makes Simon immune to magic. Baz has officially moved in with Simon, and you can see through the way that they're talking that their relationship has progressed a lot. One of my favorite parts is the trip that they take to IKEA, where they're picking out all of the furniture and stuff for Simon's apartment. It's just a really sweet scene. Another big kicker was the fact that Simon is related to Lady Ruth Salisbury. That is like the big plot twist at the end of the book, is we figure out that Lucy was Simon's mother and that the mage was Simon's father. And then we also find out that by killing the mage, Simon killed his biological father. And we also found out that basically the mage was lying to Simon all along and was in fact his father, and was not letting on to the fact that he was. He was pretending that Simon was an orphan that he just found. And so that's like a lot of information. The imposter eventually is defeated in the end, the Chosen One imposter, Smith, and they figure out that Simon is related to the Salisburys by Simon is at the dinner table and he picks up the sword, the Excalibur, and apparently it's a family sword, and so it can only be picked up by people who are blood related, and that would be Simon. So that's how we figure it out. And then the candle that Lady Salisbury lit for her daughter and her daughter's son, or no, sorry, for her daughter and her son, the one for her daughter, eventually it goes out, and so basically by finding Simon, she eventually has some peace in what happened to her daughter. And I really love the ending of this book. I like that it's open-ended. I like that everyone ends up in a reasonable pair. Like, I feel like Shepherd and Penelope was something where they actually had charisma, and it was a really good pair. I think charisma is the right word, but like they actually worked well together and it was a good pair. Obviously Simon and Baz I'm totally rooting for. And then also the twist with Agatha and Naima. I'm not exactly sure how to say her name. It's Naimh. Naim, maybe? So Agatha and Naim, I really love their relationship. I love that the epilogue is following Agatha. I love that Agatha got more characterization, especially in this novel. She was a perspective in this book, and so she got more, like, I guess screen time, you could consider it. But because in the earlier books, she was just sort of considered Simon's girlfriend and didn't really have any characterization of her own. And then once we go to America, she sort of gets some characterization, and then in this book she really builds on that as well. So I really appreciate developing her into like a full human being and having her really fleshed out. I think that was a really good choice from the author. I really love this book. The things that I love about it are the little details that make it so sweet. I love the different plots that we follow. The plot with Agatha and Naim, I think is how we say it, and then also with Baz and Simon. They're dealing with Lady Ruth and all the things going on with the Chosen One, and then Penelope and Shepherd dealing with the demon. And so all of the storylines are really interesting. I like reading from the different perspectives. I like the way that Simon and Baz's big relationship things are sort of broken up. We've got the one in the very beginning of the book, and then sort of in the middle, and then towards the end. And I also really love the open ending of, like, Simon is holding the sword, he's just standing around in his bedroom hanging out with it. And then he's talking to Baz, and he's just like, this is all just too much. Like, this feels like too much. And Baz says, this would be too much for anyone, because I feel like that's a very validating thing to hear, and it's not sort of like a happy ending, but it is a happy ending. Like, they still have a lot of work to do and things are still going to be difficult, but you know that they're in a better place, and you know that the characters are happy and they're able to get through those things. So I think that that's one of the things that makes this a really good book. I like the fast-paced nature of it, but I do think that it's slower paced compared to the earlier two novels. It's good enough to the point where I've read it multiple times. I have more than one copy. I own 2 copies. I might be getting rid of one eventually, but I also might not be. So obviously I'm keeping my copy. I brought mine with me to college. It was one of the like 10-15 books that I brought with me. I would really recommend the series to anyone. I think that as long as you go in with the knowledge that it's sort of playing off the Chosen One trope instead of playing into the Chosen One trope, then I think that you can get really emotionally invested, because Rainbow Rowell does a great job of writing lovable characters in this novel. And so, yeah, I would really recommend this to anyone. I hope that you enjoyed me talking about some moments from this book and some of the highlights. And I think that if you haven't read it, even though you've seen all the spoilers, I would still encourage you to go and read it. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have for tonight. I'm tired. It's time for bed. So yeah, I'll see you later. Bye.